Hey everyone, it's Donnie. It's been a while since I've done a review, but I've been asked to do a full review by the developer of the Gods plugin, which, if you stick around to the end, you'll be able to hear what he says about the plugin and its future updates. In this video, I'm going to show you an in-depth look at what the Gods plugin offers and what you can do for your own server. Or if you're just a player watching to see what you'll learn, I will show you all there is to know about this awesome plugin. Before we start, you should know the Gods plugin has a variety of blocks from which to choose and create your God, but varies from server to server. If you're a server owner, I'll show you how to edit, add, or remove the block types and such. Otherwise, just keep watching. To create an altar, place either a redstone or regular torch on top of your choice block. Remember, a redstone torch is a female god, and a regular torch is a male god. Next, you'll want to place a sign onto the block and type your god's name on the first line. Just remember, your first altar is your god's home, so its followers can teleport to it with the /g home command, along with your altar land being protected. That's pretty much it on making an altar. One thing to keep in mind when making a god is that they only exist as long as players believe in them. The more believers and prayers, the stronger your god becomes. Many players ask how you become a priest. Well, the only way to become your god's priest is by praying and being devoted. Only your god will appoint a single believer to be the priest. There is no command to make yourself or others a priest. As a priest, you'll be able to bless or even curse specific players. Gods also bless believers with either gifts, which are very customizable, or health when the player needs it the most. This plugin also has quests that believers can complete by looking at their god's information. A god's mood can vary depending on the believer's actions. For example, if you do something which the god approves of, his mood will increase. However, if you do something the god disapproves of, his mood will decrease. Be warned though, even doing nothing can displease your god. So remember, check your god's mood with the /godsinfo command. Pleasing your god can result in item blessings. This means that your god can bless you with gifts, such as tools, food, or health. The quality of the item also depends on how powerful your god is. So if you believe in a powerful god, there is a possibility of attaining a valuable item. A priest can ask his god to specifically bless any player by using an altar. To create a blessing altar, write blessings on line 1, on line 2, and finally on the third line, the player which you'd like to bless. And there you go, a priest can now right-click on the sign to bless that player. Don't like a player on the server? Well, your god can help with that too. To create a cursing altar, write curses on line 1, on line 2, and finally the player's name who you'd like to curse on line 3. Now that's all that's left to do is ask your priest to right-click the sign on the altar to curse the player. All gods on the server will designate commandments, rules a believer must follow to please their god. Usually these consist of your god telling its believers what items and foods are holy or unholy. It is very important for the god's priest to preach these commandments. Otherwise, the believers can face being cursed. Quests are occasionally appointed to believers. These can include slaying mobs and sacrificing items. Once the quest is complete, it will act as a mass prayer and boost the power of the god. From time to time, gods will ask believers to sacrifice a specific item to them by burning. Using either fire or lava and simply throwing in the item will appease your god. The more you sacrifice, the more blessings you will receive, along with your god becoming more powerful. Be mindful, however, that spamming sacrifices, burning things your god doesn't want or need, can result in punishment. To find out what your god wants sacrificed, just issue the God's info command. Every god has their own holy book, or Bible. This item is maintained by the priest of your religion and can be produced with the God's Bible command. The priest can also edit the holy book with the God's edit Bible command, along with completely recreating a new book and setting it as the holy book with the God's set Bible command. A fun feature this plugin adds to the game is allowing players to marry one another. To marry another player, they must be in the same religion. Next, the two players must commit to a wedding ceremony, extravagant or simple. Once married, the two lovebirds can continue to love each other with the God's love command. Depending on your server rules, you are able to conquer Holy Lands with this plugin. To attack another religion's god in Holy Land, your god's priest must issue the God's attack command. During the attack, the Holy Land is considered contested, and no one can build within the land. The land will stay contested for 1 day or until either side of the attack has killed enough believers to resolve the conflict. Okay, you guys, this is the end of the player tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching and have a wonderful day. If you want to check the plugin out in action, hop onto my server. It's play.creepercraftmc.net. We've been enjoying this plugin for a couple of years now and it never gets boring. The rest of the video will be mainly for server owners, but feel free to stick around. I also have, as I mentioned beforehand, a very special treat at the end for those who do. Peace. Okay, you guys, this portion is for the server owners. So if you're not a server owner, get out. Just kidding. Okay, so once you download the plugin, you restart your server and whatnot, you get these, I don't know how many, I didn't count, options here. So you have a language folder. Then you have, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 YML files. So the first one, let's look at this folder here. It's the language folder. Is basically what your gods are going to say. You can edit these if you know how to edit them. I haven't even bothered. So if I open this up, basically, it says mob goddess. So here it is. And then this is everything that she says throughout her whole lifespan or whatnot. And so this is like things that she says on quests or just for sacrifices and whatnot. And this is basically how every other one looks. So if you want to edit this, it seems fairly easy. All you have to do is just, let's say if I wanted to say something else here, I would just delete it and then say, hey you, hands up. Okay, so it's pretty simple, but I'm not gonna touch that. And then obviously if you want your server name there, you just add a money sign and then your server name. The believers file looks like this. So this is everyone on my server who believes in a god. It tells the god, it tells the prayer power, the last time they were blessed. If you have a priest, it tells you when the last time, or if you don't, it tells you the last time that the god asked for a priest. Okay, so the believers file, you don't really need to touch. That's just there to know who is a believer and whatnot. It doesn't really impact your certain files like the language file does, for example. The Bibles file, again, you don't really need to touch, mainly because the Bibles file is taken care of by your players and what they designate as the Bible. So for example, this is my Bibles file for my server. So we have, let's see, Fumblemore, MCR, Echoes, mine, and Bleach, you know. So for example, if I look at mine, my book is called The Holy Book of Donnie, but in game I can edit it to whatever I want. Obviously I just get a book, I write whatever, and then it's gonna sit in here. So this is the default. I never really changed my book, and some of them have and some of them haven't. So there it is. So again, like if you look back at the video, you know how to set a Bible, you know how to edit a Bible, and you know how to completely just change the Bible. I'm going to skip over the configuration file because that's probably the one that everyone wants to know about, and I'm going to go to the gods file. The gods file, again, is just like the believers and the Bibles file. You don't really need to touch it. It just literally tells you what gods are on the server and literally where they are. So for example, if I go to this file, it tells me where the god tomato is. Okay, god tomato. It tells me X, Y, and Z. Tells me what it is, the holy foods, whatever you see in God's info is in this file. Along with that is the holy artifacts file. You, again, don't really need to change that. It's literally just an informational file. Same thing with the marriage file. It just tells you the simple information you'd know by going on your server. Who's married, what time, whatever. So it's a little bit more in depth, for example. Okay, the last one is the quests file. Again, I'm not really sure if this one you need to edit. I really don't think so though. As far as when I spoke to the developer, you don't edit these. Mine's pretty empty. There's nothing there. But when one of your gods on the server or whatnot gives a player quest, this eventually will be filled up with just information. So it's just, again, another informational file. Alright, and last but not least is the configuration file. This is where the majority of everything you want to fix is fixed. All right, so this is the configuration file. This is where, again, you can set whatever you want for your god and whatnot. So let's start at the top. Right here is the world, so you can limit where you want your god's plugin to be used and whatnot. A bunch of this is pretty self-explanatory. You have min players, min player time, max player time, whatnot. The minimum level or believers for priests. So I just put 2. It's default like 3. Again, you can't make it so that you're priest. That's just something your god chooses. So the majority of the time is the person that prays the most. So if you want to be your priest of your god, pray the most. Here is probably something that the players will kind of fight over. The max priest a god can have. I just put 1 because I don't really think more is necessary. And here you put your server name. So wherever you saw one of these on that editing file, that's where you would basically, where this name would come in. So that's my server's name. Here is basically where the bulk of it is, where a lot of people don't really know what the default blocks are, or if you do want to change your altar blocks. So your altar blocks depend on you as a server owner, what you want to consider the default blocks or whatnot. So for example, these are the default ones: Frosted, Snow Block, Love, Diamond Block. I honestly, due to my laziness, I haven't changed these, but honestly I would, because I don't believe in, well, I don't really consider these like appropriate for each one. And then you can also add one. So all you have to do is just literally tab and put, I don't know, if I want to put my name, and then again tab and then put the ID. So I would put, I don't know, let me see, gold block, right? And then that would be the goddess Donnie. And here you go. Here are the item blessing options. So you can change those, the blessing options. The cursing options you'd probably want to change because sometimes they are a little bit annoying. Here are the quest options. You can't create your own quest, but you can change this how you'd want. Sacrifices, if you want to enable them. Obviously people like doing that, so I enable that on mine. Commandments here, whether they're enabled or not. You can always enable, disable these. Holy Land, what you want to do with that. I've left it on my server, even though it's PvE, but whatnot. I still have PvP on there. Chat formatting. This is going to mess you up if you put true. If you have essentials or any other chat format, for example, I have factions as well, and essentials. However, I configured my file enough so that factions doesn't override my essentials file. If you say true, your essentials file, if you do have essentials, will be overridden with this plugin. So you're going to have to look on their website to find out how to balance it out, because you can balance it out. So I believe it's balanced out through the essentials file again. And then these are again some other options that you can enable or disable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The configuration file is very, very straightforward. It's not much, it's not rocket science really. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm not that great at like this technical stuff. So yeah, I'm going to now end this portion of the server owner's guide, which is very short, very sweet and simple. It's not a hard plugin to run. And I'm going to go and let you guys enjoy the interview I had with the plugin developer. All right, everyone. So that pretty much wraps up the video. I have a special guest. It's DogonFire. This is the actual plugin developer for the Minecraft plugin, the Gods plugin. So I have a couple of questions for you, sir. And you can ask whatever you want, I guess, of your players, and then they can answer in the chat below. Okay, so how exactly do the quests work? Because there's a lot of mystery around quests and what they do or what they do for the player.
Yeah, so quest is among the most advanced features of this plugin and the least developed at the moment. right now, the god will sometimes tell you to do stuff randomly when it's powerful enough. It will ask you to go and find the holy mountain, which it basically decides where that is. And it will ask the players to go there, find the holy mountain, and complete the quest by reaching the spot. And there's another type of quest where you need to go out and slay some certain unholy mobs. When you have done that, you complete the quest and get your rewards. And that's basically it right now. Those are the two types of quests that works. There's more coming. But I'm still looking into how to make quests simple but still fun, without getting too complicated and too hard to understand.
And do you think those would be like configurable, like quests for?
Those will definitely be configurable to some degree. Like, for example, how long do you need to travel to get to the holy mountain? And how many quest mobs do you need to kill? And how tall does the tower you need to build be? That's one of the quests I'm looking into right now. Something that's also makes sense in a Bible kind of thing that people can recognize from religion. Like, of course, build the big Tower of Babel, I don't know, big ark, stuff like that.
Oh, nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I thought about.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, making something that brings people a little more together would be nice.
All right. So, will you be adding more commands for the marriage plugin? The marriage plugin's really, really popular. I know on my server, a lot of people love getting married and divorced and finding people, whatever. So, is there going to be anything more into the Gods plugin adding that?
Yeah, I really also like the, again, social aspect of the marriage. And I would definitely want to make more about that. Of course, more sharing commands where you can actually give stuff to your spouse would be nice, or maybe even share the inventory with your spouse. Commands for that will probably come as part of being married. Right now it's a bit simple, but I can definitely see that coming.
All right, that's all the questions I know for the Gods plugin. Let's ask a little bit more about you. So, how did you become a developer? Like, what made you want to go into being a Minecraft plugin developer?
Yeah, so that's kind of a long story. I didn't really plan for it. I guess no one actually does. But I am a software developer by background. I was already having a lot of experience of developing for different companies. But at the time, I was hosting my own server for random reasons as well. And then I simply saw these social plugins. There was a gap in the offer for that. I had a lot of ideas how you can make social plugins. So the Gods was one of them. We can talk about others as well. But I just simply started writing down my ideas very simply and made some investigations on how plugins actually worked on Minecraft. And then I just went from there, testing out smaller and smaller features on my own server and added the ideas that people wanted. And of course, put it on the booking page when it was big enough.
Sounds like it all starts with an idea. That's pretty much it, right?
That's how it works, yeah.
All right. So what advice would you give an aspiring developers? There's a lot of kids nowadays who just... There's a lot of kids nowadays who just... they're very wrapped into Minecraft and they're learning about coding and developing, which is pretty cool. So what can you tell us about that? Or what can you say something, inspirational words for kids?
Just don't overwhelm yourself with ideas to begin with. Like, I see a lot of other plugins because I have been in contact with other developers as well. They get bogged down by details on all these features they want to stuff into the plugin from the beginning, and it's not really about that. You just need to keep it as simple as possible and add maybe only 2 or 3 commands and take it from there and see it work with real people on real servers, and then take what they say as the input and get inspired from their input instead of over-engineering everything from the beginning, and then you just get bogged down in the bugs that, of course, are coming.
And I think the last question right here that I have, what can we expect for the Gods plugin in the coming Minecraft updates?
Yeah, so the quest, as I said, will definitely be expanded to having more fun social quests. There's a few features hidden in the plugin right now that are never really exposed. There's actually a prophecy functionality. I'm still not sure. That will probably come later. That means that in your Bible, the Bible that you have right now, holy books, those will describe what will happen in the future, and the plugin will actually fulfill those prophecies. So you will maybe have a prophecy of a dragon coming to your world, and you can read about that, and then maybe some hero will arise and all these kind of things, and that will actually happen. The Gods plugin will trigger those things to happen, so the prophecy will be fulfilled within your religion.
Actually, I just thought of another question. A lot of people have holy artifacts, and they don't know what to do with them. Is there a...
Yes, that's also one of the latest features. So the idea is that each God type need to give a special artifact for that God type. So, for example, the God of Party will give out candy sticks and vodka and fireworks and all these kind of party-related stuff, cake, for example. And the God of the Sea will have something related to water and things like that. And it's not fully developed yet, and that's why it's a little bit random, because how to introduce them into the world is not really defined. Like, how do you actually get these artifacts? The idea is that you get them when you complete quests. Mm-hmm. But I found out on my own server that kind of overwhelms a little bit, that people can simply just hoard and farm these holy artifacts. That makes it less valuable to actually have a holy artifact. So I'm looking into how to balance that a little bit.
Pretty cool.
But you can at least expect a holy artifact per God type.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as I know, my players put them in item frames. So
yeah, I know.
It's pretty cool. But
they're supposed to have special powers as well, so you have something
to
actually do with them. But let's see.
All right, so that's pretty much all the questions I have. Or do you want to answer anything that other people have asked you?
Yeah, sure, if you have some.
Let me see. A lot of people are very confused on my server, at least, on how to sacrifice. I'm thinking it's just fire, but is it lava and fire? Is there a special way?
It's both. Either lava or fire will do.
Okay.
So whatever you throw into fire will end up with a god, and whatever you throw into lava will end up with your god. So that makes you able to just build whatever altar you want. There's no other requirements.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a huge pleasure doing a video with this guy. His plugin is so inspirational. It is one of the best plugins I've seen so far. No shade, just kidding. It's one of the best plugins I've seen. A lot of people love it. It's just so fun and something to do. It's just a fun plugin. Definitely something to look forward to on the server. So thank you so much, DogonFire, for being in this video, giving me the opportunity to make this video. I hope it really did help. I did a lot of planning, and you know, it's a really cool and amazing plugin to have on your server. So thank you. Yeah. So thank you so much for checking this video out. Again, thank you, DogonFire, and I hope that you check out my server too. Peace.